Hey everybody, LED Tunes here. I just wanted to take a moment and thank you all for a fantastic 2018. I have had so much fun doing this channel. I've gotten to places I didn't expect to go. When I started this channel, I really only had one goal, and that was to make really cool LED covers of songs. But as time went on, I decided to branch out, do new things. I didn't know exactly where I was going to go with this. And life kind of took me in a different direction than I was expecting. I first posted my first video in January. And it was mainly just because I wanted to make my voice heard, get stuff out there. And from there, I decided to keep going with it. I mean, ranking channels were getting big, and I kind of wanted in on that. Basically, let me put out my voice, and I was really happy with what I was doing. And that was perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And so I just continued from there. And so as I went through the year, I kept up with some releases, especially because the Monster Cat community is big with ranking channels. I decided to keep my majority focus there for other reasons besides that, but one of the main reasons was the copyright system and how other labels are notorious for taking down videos. It's ridiculous. But as time went on, so did my real life. I graduated high school in May. That was one of the biggest events of the year. I went to a whole other country for a month, and honestly, those experiences impacted the way I looked at songs, the way I looked at music, the way I looked at life differently. And that influences my rankings and all of that great stuff. That's really a big thing. But I kept up with the releases, and then I finally started posting what I originally intended my channel to be, which was LED covers. That was what I always originally intended this channel to be. But I think I can split the views and content. I know it doesn't get the most views, and I understand why, but it is something that I wanted to do, and it's something I will continue to do. Over the summer, I joined a ranking group because that was a big thing as well. We had a good run, about 5 videos, and then it just kind of like broke up. We had some lineup changes, but we all left on good terms, and that's the happiest thing that could have happened, because these people were really nice people, and we did some great stuff. We did some great stuff. Yeah. And I really hope to be able to do some more collaborations with them in the future, or maybe other videos, whatnot. Just, the door's open. I always want to do that. And then I also did some memes because I wanted to get in on that craze. And ironically, one of them became my most viewed video with 780 views. And that's pretty crazy. I think that's not something that I really expected. And I went through some more rankings. I did a top 10 Germany trip songs because I wanted to share my experiences with the world. Like, so like in the video I had different clips of my trip because I vlogged the whole thing on my channel, on one of my channels. It was that was yeah, that I wanted to share that in case some people didn't watch that. um yeah. And I continued, and then I entered college, which has been a crazy roller coaster of a ride, if I'm truly being honest, because I got the opportunity to have my own radio show. And that as somebody who has had music not necessarily as long as some other people, I really only started to really develop my passion for music in 2011. This was a huge occasion for me, and it opened up a whole bunch of doors and took me to places that I really didn't expect. And that really led to some amazing things happening. For example, one of the videos that I'm really proud of doing, and actually let's just expand that to two right now, is my Matt Duke interview and Half an Orange interview. Those were two things that just absolutely, I am proud of myself, and I'm really happy that I was able to get that experience and actually interview these people, these artists that I look up to, and just, well, it was really cool. Matt Duke is a great and amazing person and producer, and after discovering his music in 2017, I was hooked, and hearing that he would be coming back in November was just amazing, because I had discovered his music in June of 2017, and by the time I had gone through the entire Monster Cat discography, I had pretty much settled in for myself that Matt Duke was probably never going to come back to music. I checked his channels, his SoundCloud, everything, and like there was nothing there. It was silent, and then all of a sudden, bam, he came back, and it was let's just say I was a really happy camper. And then he kept releasing music, and it's just like, whoa, like, he makes great music. And when I got the opportunity for the radio show at my college, one of the first things that I wanted to do was, one, do mixes of music, because that was something that, I mean, it's a radio show. What else are you gonna do? And two, do artist interviews. And the first person that came to my mind was Matt Duke, because of his sudden return to music and the fact that we never really got to know much about him. And, well, part of what makes discovering music so enticing for me is to learn the personal stories behind the music, the people behind the music. That's how I'm able to connect with songs, with artists. I can feel their struggles. I can understand their pain. I understand where they're coming from on a certain track or on an album, why they may have changed their sound for an album or a song. This was actually a pretty big thing in my music discovery path. I used to love listening to rock music back in freshman year, 8th grade, sophomore year, and a big thing was that fans would accuse bands like Paramore, Linkin Park of selling out and not going back to their roots, their so-called true person. So, like for Linkin Park, this was Meteora, Hybrid Theory. Uh, they had moved on since then. They had done 2 electronic albums and were gearing up for Hunting Party. And then in the case of Paramore, people were absolutely up in arms about their 4th album, their self-titled album, because it did not match their previous 3. But reading about what went on in the process, especially with Paramore, because between the 3rd and 4th album, 2 of their members had left, and they were founding members, and there was a lot of tension between the lead singer and those 2 members. And that you could, reading about that, it made you understand why things changed. And as I got into electronic music, I tried to do that same research for artists that I liked. Unfortunately, it never always amounted to much, because sometimes you just couldn't find anything on the artist. You just had to put your trust in them that they were making what they wanted to make. Of course, with big artists like Chainsmokers and Avicii and Steve Aoki, you could read up all about them. But for the smaller producers like Matt Duke and Half an Orange, they really had no place for their story to be told. And that's part of what I want to do with my show and interviews, is to have people's stories be told that may not always necessarily get the chance. That's just my philosophy. I always approach a song or an artist with the mentality that what they put into that song is what they genuinely wanted to put in. That may not necessarily always be the case, and I may not necessarily like it in the end, but that's the mentality that I think people should go into with a song. And that's what I personally think. And that's why when I rank albums, I rank EPs, I rank compilations, I never try to say that what an artist did is not their personal true selves. And I understand, even if I may not necessarily think something was well made or well produced, that at least some effort had to go in there, and that everybody puts in a little bit of effort into what they're making. And well, that was really fun, and I had a genuinely fun and thoroughly entertaining discussion. I don't know about him on his end, but I think he'll let me know what he really thought. But just know that I really enjoyed it. And then Half an Orange, that was fun as well. Like, this was right in October. I had just listened to Left Behind that they had just released, and it was amazing. And I was actually browsing through the Monster Cat Discord looking at artists, because maybe I thought I would reach out to some of them, send off some little requests for interviews. So I sent out 3, one to Fowler, one to Atmospheres, and one to Half an Orange. And Half an Orange was the one that responded back. And that kicked off several thoroughly enjoyable conversations back and forth, getting all the details mixed out. And the funny thing is that interview was the complete opposite of my first one. For one thing, we never actually sat down and talked either face to face or like speaker to speaker, whatever, screen to screen. That never actually happened. Our schedules, unfortunately, never did align. And, you know, things happen. I totally get it. It happens to me too. But they were so kind about it. They even like I sent them the question sheet. They sent their responses back, and basically gave me almost free reign to do with the responses, and that led to a completely different interview episode construction than the first one. So that was a really fun experience to do, and I'm still in contact with them. I'm happy to say that they really are genuinely nice people. Half an orange. And that's they say never to meet your heroes, but you just have to pick the right heroes and idols to follow. And I have to say that in some of my musical artist idols, I think I've made the right choice, because in my experience, the ones that I've been able to talk to have been some of the nicest people ever. But that all happened in 2018, and I can't believe like what a journey it's been. And you know what? That's always been that's something that I really do look forward to. But 2018 is in the past now. It's time to start looking towards the future. 2019. I posted 52 videos in 2018, one for each week. And that was something I unintentionally but intentionally planned. And this will be the first video of 2019, and expect 51 more videos or so coming after this one. It sounds like a lot, but in hindsight, it really isn't. Some of these had gaps in between them. Some of them came out like one day after the other, because I did a Uncaged ranking marathon to celebrate Uncaged Volume 4 coming out on Monster Cat. And I thought that would be a little fun thing to do. But I don't intend on slowing down now. The world is out there, and I really do look forward to pursuing all that it really can be. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for coming back to the channel over and over again to watch videos, to hear my little humble opinions, even if you may not necessarily agree with them. And I understand opinions are opinions. You don't necessarily agree with them, and I get that. But it means a lot to me that you guys think that I'm worthy enough to listen to. Because I'm just one person. Just one 18, soon to be 19-year-old. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.